What's going on? Welcome to another edition of Not Right, Not Wrong. As you can see, I am just Ja, and I am speaking because, as y'all know by now, if you've been following us, tonight is my episode. So
JJ.
yes. So I'll be hosting. We got an interesting topic tonight, but first, I'm going to introduce you once again, my cohorts, my comrades, my fellow Fugees of the podcast, because we the Fugees of the podcast game. We are the Fugees of the
I
podcast game.
forgot about that.
Yes, we the Fugees of the podcast game. You already know. Empress, what's going on there? What's good with you?
What's good, homie?
Yes,
All's
sister.
good on my end. I'm living, I'm loving life. I'm excited, I'm happy, I'm joyful, I'm grounded. You know, I'm
All of
here.
that, all of that, all of
I
that. With
like
the
that.
with the with the locks out,
I
hanging
like that.
long. Love to see it.
Yes, sir. Switched it up on y'all a little bit this week. Give y'all a little something different.
Yes. Dig it. Cross Bronx Mark. What's up,
Hey,
King? What it do, King?
listen, man. I'm good, man. I'm a I'm an airplane.
You're already
I'm
flying
an
high all the
airplane.
time.
Airplane, flying high. You already know. I'm blessed, man. Another
Yes,
day, another episode.
that's it.
It's
That's it,
good.
man. That's it. We are also on 92.6 The Spot, and we are live on
It's
Fridays
spot.
between 6 p.m. and 7 p.m. So tune in every Friday night.
You dig?
Also, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Not Right, Not Wrong YouTube channel, and catch us
You dig?
on video. You want to see all of our gorgeous faces.
You
You know,
dig?
there's three good looking people on here. So
Yes,
if you want
sir.
to see the face behind the voice, subscribe to the channel. Not right, not wrong. Click that red
Subscribe.
button.
Stop playing.
You know what I'm saying? Support Black businesses. Support Black
Yes.
podcasts. You know what I mean? But comrades, so as I text y'all in the group chat, this topic of conversation inspired me from, I was inspired by the topic, producing the topic of this conversation by the whole trending topic that happened last week. Although why it was trending, I do not know, but it ended up being trending. People made a big deal out of it. So
Who knows
I'll,
these
I'll,
days?
yeah, I'll preface it with that. So as you know, young superstar brother Michael B. Jordan uh, had a red carpet interview premiering his movie Creed, Creed 3, and one of the interviewers was a former schoolmate of his, and she came up to him, was interviewing him, and then she wanted to make it known that they knew each other way back. They were schoolmates. They went to school together. Which Michael B. Jordan responded, "Yeah, I was the corny kid, right?" And she was kind of taken aback. She laughed it off. She was like, "No, I did not say you was corny." And he was like, "Yeah, I heard you, but it's all good. It's all good. What's up?" So he proceeded to do the interview with her. Became a big thing on social media. Why Michael Jordan being petty? Some people were saying why Michael Jordan being petty, calling
Oh,
out stuff that
God.
happened in the past. That was corny for him to do that. Uh, Another faction of people was like, good for Michael Jordan for checking her because she was acting like that they were cool back in school. He had to remind her real quick, but kudos to him for handling it still gracefully and giving her the interview. So it was all that back and forth. So that whole thing got sensationalized. My opinion didn't have to be. Didn't have to be, but it was. So, but for me, it prompted me to come up with this topic of conversation. Um, Forget all that. I just wanted to share where it came from, but we're gonna throw our own 2 5 cents in it. And I came up with the question: what exactly is corny? How do you define someone that's corny? And I also like to add, really, me personally, I've never heard that being addressed to a woman as being corny. It's really a label on men. A man that's corny or a man that got swag or whatever the case may be. So, how do you define corny? What is being corny? What does that even mean? We gonna switch it up. Cross ball mark.
Hey,
What say you, sir?
so now that
What's
you
this term corny? What is corny?
um, let's see. You know that it depends upon the individual. That's self-definitive what corny is. But now that you mention it, I must say that's not a term often referred to a woman.
Mm-hmm.
Now that I think about it, you know, oh man, she's corny. You really don't hear that. There has to be something else about her that we dislike as opposed to her being corny. But with males, oh my God, they say that all the time. I remember this was a long time ago. I think I was in my 20s when I first heard the term cornball. This was one of my cousin's niece through marriage. And I was talking to her about something. I can't remember what it was. And she said, nah, that dude is a cornball. Yeah, I just fell out on the floor. I just started dying. I said, oh God, what's a cornball? So, you know, she went into it, you know, it's just someone that's real corny, a cornball. I don't know. That term always makes me laugh when I hear it. So, I mean, I can't give a broad definition of what corny is. It may be different for me, it may be different for D1, and it may be different for you. So, for the sake of the conversation, I'll say corny is exactly what the woman defines it as that you may be seeing or may know or may be friends with. Or whatever act that she considered to be corny that's associated with you, that's what it is. And I think it may change from time to time. And it may not necessarily be the person, it may be the act.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I think it is. Like for conversation's sake, you meet a young lady, y'all been talking off and on, you get the phone number, and you know, where we gonna go this evening? I'm gonna surprise you. Let's go take a stroll. And y'all go to Barnes and Nobles. She may think that's corny. You understand? That may not necessarily be the place she may want to go to entertain you or do something. Now, whether or not she says something about it or just go along with it because she likes you, it's up to her. But that may be something she considers corny. I mean, and in regards to the interview, I didn't know the backstory. I didn't know that he said that. I thought she said it. I mean, it did come across my radar that it took place, but I thought she said to him, you were corny in school. I didn't know he said that to her. What was it, elementary, junior high, high school?
One of them, junior high, high school. So it was, I think, so the backstory was that she was so the young lady's name is L'Oreal. I think she's a she's a podcast host, and I think she's on reality TV as well. But apparently she was speaking about him with somebody else. They was having a conversation, I guess, on their podcast about him, and he was mentioned how he was back in the day. And so and she did admit that he was teased, but she wasn't the one that called him corny. But fast forward to that moment when them two was on the red carpet and she was interviewing them, and she tried to, well, she was like, yeah, I know Mike from back in the days. And, Mike had to give a little reminder, like, yeah, I was the corny kid, that kind of thing. So she was like, nah, I ain't say that. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. So that's how that whole thing went.
How it started. I think he meant that all in fun. I mean, I haven't watched it. I watch it just to see, but I think he meant that all in fun because he continued on in the interview. He could have just walked right by her.
Right.
Because the red carpet is by choice who you want to speak to.
Right.
So he continued on. I'm assuming he was talking about Creed 3. I think he took it all in stride when he said that. I remember when I was in high school, it was this young lady I went to high school with. Her name was Tiny. A Puerto Rican girl. Oh, man, she was gorgeous. Gorgeous. So none of the guys that I hung around with in high school, she was interested in. Spoke to, gave the time of day, just said, hey, how you doing? Friend mode. So this one day, I see her leaving school, walking home with this dude who I considered corny to me. 'Cause he didn't hang with the cool kids.
Uh,
So, you know, I done spit everything I could possibly at this girl.
mhm.
When I everything. It wasn't happening.
Yeah.
So then I see with this cat, they walking, you know the look when you like
Mhm.
the high school look, walking slow, yeah, you laughing at everything she
Yeah.
say, he
Yeah.
say,
Yeah.
she looking at the dude. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So the next day, my other homeboy was like, yo, that's Tiny Man. Oh, I said, she go with this corny dude? But this is who she likes.
I am glad you said that. I am
This is
so
who she liked.
yeah. I
So
am
then, you
glad
know,
you said
after
that.
that, we used to see them in the lunchroom together around
Yeah.
school, after school. You know, I just fell back.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
understand
But
it?
I want you to hold on to that thought. I am so glad you said that. I am so
Okay,
glad you said that. But I want to
okay.
get to Empress. Empress. So
Empress.
what's your thoughts on this whole corny label on men predominantly? Like I said, you could correct me if I'm wrong, but from my scope or my within my earshot, I've never heard a woman being addressed as corny. It's a label bestowed on men. He's either cool, corny. He's either cool or corny. So what's your thoughts, D1?
So I'm glad Mark said that too, but I'm gonna wait and see what direction you go because I think that connects to something that we talked about a few podcasts ago.
Okay.
Something that came up in Ask the Ops. If you haven't watched Ask the Ops, please go back, y'all, and go watch it.
Go check
Yeah.
that out.
Go
Yeah,
check
yeah,
it
yeah.
out.
Yeah.
Um, but so I'm not gonna say you're wrong, but I am gonna add some more to it. And I do think it's when I think about the term corny, I do think I've heard it used more so with males, boys, men,
Mm-hmm.
masculine, as
Mm-hmm.
compared to women, girls, females, feminine.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, howsoever, your girl, D1, has been called corny. So there is that.
Revelation. Okay.
Shot.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes. And I was called
Was this
I don't know
recent?
how when hmm?
Was this recent? Like the last 2 weeks or so?
Wait, what?
Nah, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead. Go ahead, go ahead.
Did you just come for me?
Nah, come on. Why would I do that, D1? Come on.
Oh my god. No, this was not recent. This is a decade or more. And
Okay.
it was in reference to who I was prior to that. And the statement was kind of like, oh, I thought you were corny because dot 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 dot. And I don't really quite remember what the dot 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 exactly was, but the way I recall it was because I was quiet. I've always been quiet. I still am quiet. I keep to myself for the most part. I don't bother anybody. And the only time you really get to know me is when and if I want you to know me. And then you get to see all of those parts. If I don't want to show all of those parts, I'm sitting down somewhere, minding my business. I'm not really participating and partaking in all of your conversation and your action. I'm over here. And there was a perception around that with, I guess, a subset of people who define that as corny. What ups? It's all good. But I do mostly hear it as it relates to dudes, especially cornball. I don't think I've ever heard a woman called cornball
Ever.
Yeah.
ever,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I've never.
Yeah.
ever, 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 ever. And
Mm-hmm.
so when you sent this text, John, I'm like, corny, what is corny actually? And it's not, I don't think I use it. I don't think it's something that's in my vernacular. So I really had
Mm-hmm.
to stop and think, like, what is corny? And then I
Yeah.
thought of, well, corny is like you whack, you played. Like I tried to think of other words that are kind of similar or synonyms.
Mm-hmm.
And I still was having a little bit of trouble. But what I think I agree with Mark. Like, I think it kind of depends on who's using the word, because it's kind of like, you know how we be like, we could say something like, you all right? And you can have different inflections to it.
Yeah.
So it's like, you all right?
Mhm.
Or yo, you all right? Like you can have different inflections,
Of
and
course.
there could be a problem, or there could be legitimate concern, or it could be a warning. It
Mhm.
could be,
Like, yo, you
you
good?
know,
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
good? Or yo, you good? You know, okay, yeah, yeah.
right? And you good? The streets is talking. You good?
Yeah, right, yeah, right,
Streets
right.
is talking.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Right.
think that's a little bit around this word of corny. But for me, it like the way it translates is when I think of somebody who's corny, I'm thinking of somebody who maybe is not wearing the latest fashions, their clothes aren't that fly, their car's not that fly. Again, this is very masculine kind of stuff, right? Their car's not that fly, they don't have a lot of money, their cut is not fresh, they not pulling the dopest chicks. Um it could also be that they into something, they have hobbies that other people are not into, like Mark talked about, you know, going to Barnes and Noble. So it could be so you into books and everybody out here is shooting dice. What you going, what you reading about? What
Right,
book
right,
you
yeah,
reading?
yeah.
Facts.
Book
Yeah,
out of here.
yeah,
What you doing with a book? You
yeah,
corny.
yeah.
It could be that you got a 2-parent household, like 8 Mile. Oh, you got 2 parents at home. So
Yeah,
you corny. You
that's
was
corny.
raising a girl.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
And Clarence lives at home with real nice parents. uh,
exactly. It could be that, you know, maybe you a quote unquote good guy, right? You could be a good guy. Maybe you're not in the streets. Maybe you're not, you know, doing what the streets are doing.
Yeah,
Maybe
you're
you're
not
not
a
making
felon.
money.
You don't have no felonies.
You
You're
don't
at
have
least
no
Mhm.
felonies. What you do? You got misdemeanors? What,
right.
oh,
that's
you
what you're
corny.
doing? You stealing candy bars? Come on, man. Get your game up. Get your
No
game
doubt.
up.
Right.
So I think that's I'm gonna stop with the definition there. I think
Yeah.
that's how I'm gonna define it. And I don't think there was anything. I didn't watch the whole. I only saw that little snippet that went, you know, shooting around of Michael
Yeah.
B. Jordan. And
Mhm.
I think honestly, he did her a favor because her podcast views are probably through the roof right now.
Facts.
Yeah.
And why can't he say something? I don't understand why he can't. And it seemed
Yeah.
like he had a little umph with it. It seemed like he had a little,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah,
he
yeah, yeah.
had a
You
little
saw it.
feeling behind it.
Yeah.
Yeah, little pepper in that. Oh, I was the corny dude. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
a little
A
seasoning.
little
Yeah,
seasoning
he
on it. Yeah,
sprinkled
yeah,
a
yeah.
little
Yeah.
pepper
Little
on it and
sauce on it.
a little sauce. And I'm not mad because if you gonna try and come up on my coattails talk about, oh, we went to school together, we
Yeah.
did, but hold on, like
Yeah.
don't do that.
Right, right. We wasn't cool like that.
We
Yeah.
wasn't cool like that. Don't act like
Mhm.
we were. Don't front for the cameras now.
Right.
Don't do all of that because you see, I'm over here with my abs and my
Yeah,
magazine
yeah.
covers and my abs. Like, don't play.
I take
Yeah.
it that you like his abs, D1.
I took they, you know, whatever.
You did mention that.
Unless you're gonna show your abs, maybe your abs are better than his. Show your
Nah,
abs.
listen, you see the ass. I can only let one person see that.
Aww.
Nice, nice. Gas
Well-
station.
Well done.
Gas station. Yeah. But yeah, so Mark, want to get back to your thought, man. So I'm glad you said that because I wanted to know why you thought that dude was corny, walking with the baddest chickens in school. She was in school, right? This is back in high
This
school.
was high school.
Yeah, so she's one of the baddest chicks in school, and she was walking with him. And why did you personally view him as corny?
So, I mean, it was a lot of good women, good looking girls in high school. I mean,
Yeah.
she just happened to be one of them.
Mhm.
And one of the things to D1's point, I think quiet girls are sexy. You know why? Because mystery is sexy.
Mhm.
You understand? There were some girls in the school that wasn't quiet. You know, they talk, they active. You know a lot more than the quiet girls. You know, mystery is sexy. You understand?
Mhm.
So, you know, she was quiet. She only hung with who she hung with, which is an extremely small circle. You understand? But this particular dude, he didn't hang with the people that I hung with. He didn't associate with the people that I associated with. Now he went to the school, he was another student there, but I was just trying to figure out what was it in him that she saw for her to say, wow, let me give this dude a shot. You understand?
Mhm.
So even if it was one of the dudes that I knew that she liked, I still would have been upset because she ain't picked me. But I wouldn't have said none of those dudes were corny. You understand?
Mhm.
But she picked this dude. I don't know. He just seemed like a quiet dude when we was all in the lunchroom together cutting class. You understand? Me
Yeah.
and the guys that I hung out with, he wasn't around to do any of these activities.
Mhm.
So, you know, anyone outside of the crew or the circle, I'm this who you all right. But you know, I had to fall back
Yeah.
because you know it blossomed into something. They turned into a thing.
Mhm.
So I just fell back. That's why I thought he was corny.
Okay. Okay. Because he got the girl that you wanted.
Another reason why I was upset with that,
Uh-huh.
before they, like I said, I was throwing everything at her. So I had her phone number. We talk on the phone.
Yeah.
So one day she was home and she was like, oh, I'm so hungry. I feel like some Chinese food. What? What you want? Boom. So she was
Uh-huh.
like, oh, okay, cool. So she said, listen, if you're going, could you get some for my sisters? Right? I'm
Oh,
oh now in my mind I said, oh now you owe Dan.
yeah.
She was the oldest, she had two younger sisters.
Mhm.
So I can't just get her the Chinese food. So I bought Chinese food for her and her two sisters
Mhm.
and three sodas. Right? I'm all this thing, I'm thinking this is getting me in.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So I go to the door, I bring it to the crib. She lived on Webster too, so I ain't have far to go. So I bring her to the crib, knock on the door. I think I'm gonna come in and chill.
Yeah.
She took that shit right at the door. Oh, Mark, thank you so
Wow.
much. I appreciate your little fake hug right here on the cheek. You know, I ain't even get no feel or nothing. At least let me
Nothing.
grab
Yeah.
your butt or something.
Mhm.
But none of that.
So
She
so
like,
so you felt finessed.
ah, little bit,
Yeah, yeah,
little
yeah.
bit.
No, I
Because
dig it.
come
I
on, you
dig it.
added your sisters and all that in the
Yeah,
mix.
yeah, yeah,
Come on,
yeah.
I'm doing this for you.
Right.
But
Right.
you know, I fell back. So, you know, homeboy had to get her the Chinese food.
Mhm.
And what would you do if she had a podcast and she's interviewing you and she says right now, yeah, me and Mark, we went to high school together. What you gonna say?
We did go to high school together.
Are you not gonna mention this Chinese food incident? You're
I
not gonna mention
definitely will mention that.
that?
I definitely
I'm gonna
will
do you
mention that.
finesse, right? Yeah, I'm gonna do you finesse.
Yeah.
Remember?
I forgot to do that. And then I would be like, yo, you started dating that corny dude. I would definitely say that. That was a long time ago. And you know, I know we're talking about this now in the age that
Yeah.
we are now, but you have to graduate to a different level of maturity
Mhm.
and remove those things from it. Like, you know, what D1 was referencing, she said someone had called her corny.
Yeah.
So at the time when I was in high school, I could have probably seen why. Not at the age I am now. You know, she went to Brooklyn Tech. Who go to Brooklyn Tech?
Right.
Smart people. Now, listen, I'm gonna come full circle, D1. Give me a second. You understand? You wasn't just getting into Brooklyn Tech. You got to take that specialized exam.
Facts.
Not only did she take that, she passed it. So
Mhm.
she's in the school.
Yeah.
You understand? So I mean, she got to read books. You got to maintain a certain GPA unless you you out of there.
Mhm.
From what I understand. And then she quiet. She moved her little circle of friends and things of that nature. So some dude that may not necessarily have that GPA or may not necessarily be in the book or read books to maintain that grade level, he may think that, oh wow, You really learning. Oh, that's corny. You out here learning. You understand? Or we trying to graduate on time. Nah, that's corny. You understand? So you got to graduate to a different level of maturity. At the time, what? We
Yeah.
17, 18.
Yeah.
What we want to do?
Right.
Facts.
Right.
You
Facts.
understand what I'm saying? So way back then, but now, I mean, at, well, D1 about to be in the club soon. So with the 50 son club at this particular age, you understand? I'm sure that's far removed from our vocabulary.
Yeah.
Mm.
You understand? So we'll probably use that right now, that maybe describe a movie or something, or outfit.
Yeah, for the most
Someone
part.
send you
Yeah.
some hottest look. Oh man, that's corny. I wouldn't wear that shit.
Yeah.
Something like
Yeah.
that. But we don't use that to describe people anymore. Something to do, maybe corny. Yeah, I want to go to this concert, see this heavy metal group.
Mm.
You dead. That's corny.
Mm. Yeah, I would hope we people that are in our generation, our age group would not use that word on other humans so much anymore, if not at all. You know. But D1, was that the case for you when you was classified as corny because you was book smart and very, into your education and quiet? Was that the deal? Why you was classified? I saw, yeah.
I
Was that the
think so.
deal?
I think it was because I was super quiet, and
Mhm.
I used to feel like I was shy, but it's not that I was shy. That wasn't it. I was selective and I was quiet.
Mhm.
But what did happen to me, which is I'm positive y'all can't relate to this. And I don't know if this is a parallel to corny, but what I did get all the time and what I got on Webster all the time, C1, even like I got it all through school. Well, up until high school. So all school before high school, I got it, and it got me in a number of fights. I probably had 3, 4, 5 fights that all started with, "You think you cute?" They
Mhm.
they all started that way, and it was not a compliment. It was
Mhm.
it was a warning. It was a
Mhm.
warning. It was, "Oh, you think you cute?"
Mhm.
And I think part of it was maybe some boys did think, "Oh, she's cute and she is a mystery. I do want to talk to her." And maybe there was some girls that didn't like that so much. But I think 92% of my fights started with, "You think you cute?" All from other girls.
Yeah. Is
And
is
part of that was also, I think, because they didn't know me. It was never a girl who knew me who did that. It was always some girl who was like somewhere in my circumference that made a decision about who they thought I was.
Mhm.
And that was where the problem always started for me.
I dig it. I was gonna say for y'all, we get corny a lot by each other. And girls call us corny too. But I think amongst y'all is she thinks she all that.
Mhm.
That's what y'all get often with each other.
Definitely.
Who she thinks she is. She thinks she all that. She thinks she cute. And
Yep.
with her, whatever. Then they start. Y'all start
Yeah,
snapping at
going
each other.
down. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
start going down, trying to belittle each other and stuff like that. So y'all get the. She thinks she cute. Or who she thinks she is. She thinks you all that. So it's like their insecurities is being projected onto you because you're quiet, and they feel that you too good. They taking it that you too good to associate with them or whatever the case may be. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? So you too good to associate with them. Why they associate with the boys? In some cases, some of them may be passed around by the boys. Just keep it all the way 100.
Well,
You know what I'm
Gas
well,
saying?
station.
gas station.
You know what I'm saying? Keep it all the way a bean. Some of them
Yeah.
were passed around by the boys, so they look at you all quiet and they think you too good for that. Well, you damn well should be. Don't get passed around
Yeah.
like that, right?
Listen, what about you, Ja? What's your relationship with corny? Anybody ever call you corny before?
Yeah, I probably
Not to your
because
face though. They not playing those games.
no,
Yeah, you
I
a
mean,
grown ass
listen,
man.
listen. I got called nerd because I went to art design. I'm from the block, and then I go to a specialized school. Had to draw. Being an artist was considered kind of corny. being able to draw. Like I wasn't the one. Guys on my block. See, guys on my block were athletically talented. There was a lot of dudes that was into sports. Yeah,
Mhm.
you know, a lot of talented cats on my block. Sports was a thing. If you was an athlete, of course, you was popular. You was respected as an athlete. If you knew how to fight, you know how that go, Mark. If you know how to
Of
fight, you know
course.
how to play sports. Um, if you know how to dress, you know, typical points that would make a dude cool on the block. Me, didn't have much of a fashion, struggle with fashion. Um, I'm an artist. I did come outside and played in sports, so I guess that saved me a little bit because I did play with the fellas. I was outside playing sports with them, but I was an artist, so I was called a nerd. You know what I'm saying? And I had good grades in school. I was averaging A's and B's and shit. So yeah, it was nerd, not so much corny, but nerd. But it's synonymous with corny. You know what I'm saying? But I
Yeah,
got the nerd. I
they
got the nerd.
cousins.
Yeah, they're cousins. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah,
So I
yeah,
got
Sure.
nerd.
definitely.
Yeah, of course, I got nerd. So it's like if you're not if you're a person that doesn't um participate with the ever rate participate in the crowd, so to speak. If you're not part of the crowd, if you're doing something different from the crowd, you're gonna be identified as corny or a nerd or whatever the case may be. But yeah, I've gotten that. It wasn't but the funny thing though, with cats on my block, I did get the nerd call, but it was more so in jest. It wasn't hurtful per se. It was more so in jest than hurtful. And I think part of the reason why is because I did come outside and play sports with them. So
That saved you.
that kind of saved me.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
You ain't just stay inside.
Yeah. If I stayed inside, I ain't played no sports with them.
It's a
Oh
wrap.
man, yeah, I'd probably been.
You would have been corny.
Yeah, I'd have been super duper corny. But I was outside with them. You know what I'm saying? I was outside with them. So, that's how that went for me coming up. But yeah. So that's not something guys relate to on the block, being an artist. An artist. Oh, you know how to draw? All right.
No, that's the and
Yeah.
and and it's funny how we do that, right? Because then we're gonna be like, you don't know how to draw. It's what it is.
Yeah.
Even if you say, yeah, I go to you're on design, which you could draw, yeah.
Yeah, what's
You
that?
don't know how to draw.
Yeah. So matter of fact, one of my and these are good friends of mine too. They tease me and call me Leroy from Fame. Because just being ignorant, you know what I'm saying?
You
Just
was
being ignorant.
dancing on tables in the
Yeah,
leaf
you know what
toy. I
I'm saying?
love
Just be
it.
because whether it be LaGuardia, art design, is all the same to them. You know what I'm saying? They don't know no better. So it's like
It's all the same.
it's all
And
the
I bet
same.
Fame,
if you were
I
tagging
wanna
up
live
trains.
forever. I ain't gonna sing. I'm gonna do it at the service. But everybody watch that show. Everybody.
No doubt.
For sure.
Yeah,
For
but
sure.
you saying if I was tagging up trains, yeah, it probably would have got me some kudos, right? Yeah, if I was
Yeah,
tagging.
because now you have the art, but you add some danger and some you
Yeah.
breaking the law
Yeah,
to
right.
popping now.
Exactly. But I ain't know how to tag, so
But
I couldn't get
you
away
know
from
how to draw. You could have,
Yeah. No, yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. I never really know how to do that. I never learned how to do that. Although, um, one of my boys one of my boys know how to do. They call it piece and know how to do a piece.
Mhm.
But he had a black book he did pieces. He was kind of good with it. He was kind of good with it. But he never tagged either. So, but he was
Because y'all
also
were both nerds. That's why.
yeah. He was called a nerd too. He was called a nerd. He was called a nerd too.
It was a crew of y'all.
Yeah, it was a crew of us. We were called nerds, but we were outside. We was outside though. We was
Yeah, he
outside.
was outside.
Yeah, we
Facts.
was outside.
Look at you getting your street cred. Yeah, I was a nerd, but I was outside though. I was on the block
Yeah,
though.
but we was outside.
We was
Okay?
outside.
We
We
was,
was outside.
outside. We
We was-
was letting that thing go. You know what I mean? When I went to art design.
God.
we was letting we was letting nothing go but the time, baby.
But it's funny how we do that though back then when we were
Yeah.
in high school, right? So it probably would have went a little different like this, John.
Yeah.
Let's say, right? So you went to art and design, right? You was nerdy, you was nerd, or you was corny or something like that. So it
Yeah.
went a little different if you went to like Clinton, right? You went to Walton. You went
Yeah.
to Taft. If you went to Martin Luther King, if you went to Brandeis,
Yeah.
you understand?
Yeah.
They wouldn't have called you those type of names. Even, you came outside and you was cool. But even if you stayed upstairs, like, yo, he go to Brandeis. You know what type of students back then went to Brandeis. They got kicked out of every other school, 5, 6 high schools. They can't go nowhere but Brandeis. You can't get kicked out of there.
Yeah.
So it would have been like, yo, high school, I go to Brandeis. Whoa. So that means you getting it in. You understand?
Yeah.
Same conversation.
Yeah.
Yo, what's how you just go? I go to Bronx Science.
Yeah. Woo! If you
Yeah.
Off top.
Oh.
No, it don't work. I know there's people who I went to high school with who legit had 2 sets of every book because they would have the book at home and they'd have the book at school, but there was no way they were going to get caught carrying a book bag from school home. Right.
Yeah.
And at that point, at the time I went to Tech. Now, the history of Tech was an all boys school initially, right? It started out all boys. By the time I got there, of course, it wasn't all boys anymore, but it also was, when I was there, it was super duper diverse. There were a lot of brown kids of all different flavors, a lot of Black kids, also a lot of Asian kids, right? And we all intermingled with each other. It was no big deal. But some of us are going back to hoods, right?
Yeah.
Some of us were going home, some of us were going back to hoods. And so there's certain equipment you wasn't going back to your hood with, because my major in high school, I needed to carry a T-square. I don't know if you know what a T-square is.
Yeah.
But all right, just John knows what this is.
Yeah.
All right.
For sure.
All right, you old too. You know what it is, Mark.
Yeah.
But I couldn't get on the train from Brooklyn, traveling from Brooklyn to the Bronx with a T-square sticking out my backpack. That I don't need to tell you what school I go to anymore. Like sticking out.
We already know.
Yep.
It's a problem. It's a problem. And then, we had Decepticons around, and that was, that was a fun time. But they were also in the school, so
yeah. The infamous Deceps.
Yeah, and what's crazy about that, right? Not only did they have the Decepticons, they had the Deceptets too.
I remember the Deceptinets.
So you come out of the school, right? And you're like, oh, I'm good. They only jumping dudes. You understand? So the girls had a little bamboo, everything. So you come out the next day, you see a bunch of girls like 60 deep. Oh, damn, they done switched it up. The dudes didn't come today. But this is the girls' day. They doing alternate. Dudes Monday, girls Tuesday. You understand?
The Deceptinets. Yeah, man.
Deceptinets,
yeah, man.
Come on, man. Yeah, it was ridiculous. And that's a long trek from Brooklyn all the way up to the X to Webster.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I can understand the mindset of the dudes. He don't want me walk around with that chemistry book. You understand? Just on the train out there, because they was going to jump you anyway, but that just give them more reason to.
Yeah.
And they're going to take the book anyway and throw it somewhere.
Listen.
Yeah.
And I just want to go on record and say Tech Knights ain't no punks. Like, let me just go on the record, because class of 91, I got your back. There was no punks happening. There was no easy fights. There was no easy wins. It was going down all the time.
Boy, everybody was jumping. Y'all was jumping the Deceps?
Whoa.
I'm trying to say, I know they came to the school like 70 deep. You know that.
What I'm saying is everybody was more than capable of holding their own. That's what I'm gonna say.
I dig it.
Empress is throwing hands. Like, what?
I dig it.
My last fight, I
Yeah.
stopped fighting at, I think my last fight was at like 14.
Mm.
And right around then is when people started pulling razor blades out their cheek.
Oh yeah.
And I'm corny. I ain't built for that.
That's when you thought she was cute.
That's
You know, it's too cute to put the razor blades under the tongue and.
well
Yeah.
played. I sure did.
Oh
I still don't
man,
understand the concept. Like, how you not cutting up your whole mouth? I don't understand. I can't do it. Too
Yo,
corny.
that's
Can't do it.
that I still think, you know, it's gully, is goonish, but it's masterful. And all them cats and ladies that was able to do that.
yeah.
That's some masterful stuff. Cause I'm like, how do you not cut yourself? You know what I'm saying?
I needed a whole workshop to even
Yeah,
understand it.
that's
Like,
very
I don't get
masterful.
it.
That's very masterful.
And the funny thing about that, I knew this cat from Brooklyn named Mike. So
Mhm,
100,000 Mike, so no one gonna know who he was.
mhm.
And he was from, I think he was from Bed-Stuy. He was one of the cats razor blade in the mouth. But the funny thing is, they don't even take their hand and go in the mouth and pull it. It's just a flick of the tongue.
Yep.
Whoop, whoop,
Yeah,
whoop, right
yeah,
out, whoop, right in the hand. What's good?
yeah, yeah. No
Like,
doubt.
damn, dogs.
No
You know,
doubt.
and I mean, this is definitely for another topic, but different people that you talk to for different reasons in life, you kind of wonder what life decisions are you making that make you want or need to do that. No
Mhm.
judgment, but sometimes you just ask why you need to do that. You understand?
Sure.
Everybody different life decisions. I mean, it's all about choices.
That's
So,
right.
and he had two, but he took
Wow.
pride in saying that he carried two.
And that's
And you
not
could
corny to
talk to
him.
him regular conversation, you wouldn't know anything.
Yeah,
Whoop, whoop,
yeah,
right out. You
yeah.
understand? I mean, different. It's different if you are in jail. You understand? There's certain things you got to do for your survival. I get it, but you're out here.
Mhm.
Some people might say the same thing. Some people might say it was, it was a survival.
Nah, I dig it.
So some people maybe not. Some people are predatory, and some people was,
Yeah.
setting it off. I get
Yeah.
that, but maybe some of the other people are like, yo, I gotta do what I gotta do. I gotta get from here to there. So this is how I'm gonna do it.
This is how
Yeah,
you gonna do it.
yeah, y'all already know. It was a jungle back in the 90s, low key. So it was a jungle out there. You know what I mean? It really was a straight jungle, you know, dealing
It
like
was.
us to, you
But
know,
there were rules though.
yeah, to a
What
certain
was the
degree, sure.
rules?
I feel like there was some rules. I feel like there was some rules about um like you were saying earlier, I think you said this off air though. Like there were certain projects you knew I'm not going to that project unless, I'm invited. If I got an
Mhm.
escort,
Mhm. You gotta
then
know
I'm
somebody.
then I'm gonna go ahead and run through. And
Yeah,
if you do run through, then maybe you go through at a certain time and you're out at a certain time.
that's
For
right.
me, part of my consideration is I'm not going through with a certain dude either. Because if you the pop in dude and you got all the chicks checking for you and I'm not from the hood and you bring
Uh-oh.
me, that's not
Mhm.
Drama.
happening.
Drama.
That's a problem.
It's a problem.
Mhm.
Or if it is happening, you better believe you walking me from the door all the way to the train and you making
Mhm.
sure I get on the
Get
train.
on the train, right, right,
Like
right.
I'm not going out. I'm not going back out by myself. You saw them chicks sitting on the bench. I'm not doing that.
Mhm.
And so I think it felt like there were certain rules. Maybe there weren't a lot, but there were certain rules. Like it felt like a lot of old people off limits. There was some rules around kids. I remember being little and passing men who I was with my mom and passing men and they would curse and they would see us and be like, oh, pardon. I don't know when's the last
I
time.
remember that. I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember
Yeah,
that.
but I
That's
see where
facts.
you're
That's
going with it
facts.
now. Okay.
You know,
Yeah,
so
that's facts. I remember
there
Okay.
that.
was some rules, and if you weren't of the streets, most of the time, as long as you stay out of it, you ain't had no problems. Not to say that you might not get hit with a stray from here and there, but most of the time, if you wasn't part of the problem, if you wasn't part of the streets, if you wasn't part of the scene, you
Mhm.
wasn't gonna get bothered
Yeah.
That's right.
Or get shanked.
or get shamed.
Yeah.
Shanked.
It's a whole different. This is. I'm not gonna say criminals have morals. I'm just not. But I'm gonna go way back
Mhm.
when I was a baby and I was young, 1, 2 year old, and I had a babysitter. Her name
Oh
was Miss
wow.
Peg, and she was one of the nicest ladies ever. So she used to go to the check cashing place and cash her check and put the money on me, like put it in my shirt or something like that.
Mm.
So she got mugged twice. And
Oh,
they
okay.
checked her wallet and everything like that, checked her purse, but they didn't check the baby. You understand?
Wow. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, you gotta be low
Yeah.
to, yeah, take his kid, put his hands down. What he got? You understand?
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
she knew, smart enough. Wow, let me put the money on Mark. He in the store, everything he good. What kind of criminal is gonna check the baby?
Mhm.
Again,
Yeah.
life decisions. How bad is your life going to now? You checking the baby?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Fast forward to 2023. Come on now.
Yeah.
Come
Yeah.
on now.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're gonna check all the kids.
Right.
Everybody.
Right.
Strip the baby. Strip. You heard it?
Yeah.
Come on,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
What's up
Yeah.
with you? What's going on with you? You want me to
Well,
strip my baby?
yeah. Yeah. The code of the rules of engagement. It does
Now,
become questionable.
I dig it. I dig it.
Mhm.
But I mean, definitely one of the topics as we move forward. I definitely want to speak about this whole, streets, hood, and all that type of thing, the terminology that we use,
Mhm.
and just speak about my thought process in regards to that. It'd definitely be a good conversation, but I'll save it for one of our episodes.
It did.
I don't want to get too far away from, the corniness.
Yes. 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 The good. Well, we can have some final thoughts because it's about time to wrap it up. But what's is corn is I'll present this question to both of you.
Hmm.
I'll start with you, D1, and then your final thoughts. Is corny even should corny even be relevant? And at this stage of the game, should corny even be relevant? Doesn't matter as a person is so-called corny. Does it bear any relevance, or should it?
I mean, I'm an old person.
Mm,
So
Stop it.
I don't know how old you got to be before you're like officially an elder, but I feel like I'm an elder and I'm wise and people should sit at my feet. So,
I,
yeah, no doubt, no doubt.
not to cut you, I would say 65 and better.
oh, so I
Yeah,
have a
yeah,
little time.
you actually consider the elder at 65.
Yeah, that's kind of the
Yeah,
industry standard, so
yeah,
to speak.
65.
So can I be like an elder in training? Can I like I feel like I need some level of status. I need don't okay, whatever. I'm not talking to you, Mark. Um
Like
Listen, I'm not taking nothing away from the youth. If the youth want to call people corny, please feel free. We had our chance to do it, so go
mm,
for it. Go do the thing. And if it's not corny, it's going to be something else. There's always going to be some level of language as it relates to in group and out group. It's always going to be something. I'm going to
mm,
identify myself this way. And that there's all kinds of cliques in school. There's all kinds of cliques in the world, right?
mhm.
You got the gamers, you got the readers, you got the class cutters, you got all of the you got a billion clicks going
Class
on,
That's
cutters.
and
true. Yeah.
everybody gets to find their click. And if I'm in one click and I think that other click is corny, so be it. But I do think that there is, everything has a line to it. So I think the existence of this concept or this wording of corny by itself, whatever. I don't think it's I don't think it's really here or there, but everything got, there's kind of a spectrum to everything. And there is a part where I think it can get really dangerous. It can get really dangerous if you are bullying somebody, right? That's
Yeah.
problematic. And I think it's also, I actually think it's corny to call someone else corny who's chasing his dreams. And
Dig
like
it.
I think that's what Michael B. Jordan was in the midst of. I think the man was focused. I think he was already, acting and doing his thing. And I'm not sure why he got, I think she said she didn't call him corny. She said they made fun of him in some other way, but whatever
Yeah.
it was, he was focused and doing his thing. And I think that's bad. I think it's bad to like discourage people from moving forward. But we not gonna make kids stop teasing each other altogether. That's not, I can't imagine that going someplace. And as an adult, I still might tease people a little bit lightheartedly, but
Yeah, all the kind of ingest a little bit, just a little, all
and just
ingest.
a little
Yeah,
bit.
yeah.
We know you're gonna do that, D1. We've seen your Facebook posts. We know.
No, that's not fair though. Because on my Facebook post, I'm nice, I'm kind, I'm innocent, and then people come for me. Why people come from their Facebook page over to my page in Facebook land to make fun of me? Why would you do that?
As if they ain't nothing else better to do in their life, right?
Nothing else better. And then they go find me on Instagram and they make fun of me on Instagram too. So it's not good enough that you
now they stalking you. Now that's the problem. Come on now.
Yeah, that's when you crossing the line. Yes, that's a little bully in there. That's some
Come on
bullying there.
now. If they following you on different platforms, it's getting out of hand.
That's
just to call you corny, right? Just jumping on platform just to call you corny, right?
Just to call me corny.
You think you cute.
You think you're cute.
Yeah, you think you're cute. You think you're cute. Yeah, you think
on different platforms.
And different platforms. Yeah.
Just FYI, the comeback to you think I'm cute, to you think you cute is always something like you think I'm cute. It always got to be something like that. You got to have, like in the world of, girls and women, you always got to have a verbal comeback on the ready. I don't know if men do the same thing, but women, we got to have a verbal comeback ready.
That verbal sparring, boy. That verbal
real.
Sparring. Verbal jousting. Cross Bronx Mark, your thoughts, man?
You know what?
Should corny bear any relevancy now?
The whole time we were talking about this until D1 mentioned that, I hadn't even thought about the cyberbullying and what this could look like for young people now, being called corny. You understand? So, when we turn on the news now, we hear about young people committing suicide. I mean, young.
Yeah.
10 years old, 11 years old, 12 years old. Because of cyberbullying. And it may be going on in the school, but it may be light in the school. They see the kid, they don't say anything. But on the internet, you understand?
Yeah.
And they want to fit in. They want to be amongst their peers. They want to be liked. So that peer pressure, it leads them to do things like that. And I hadn't even thought about it to D1 mention that, what that can turn into. Because it could turn very ugly. We didn't have no internet or anything like that when we were young. This is just things we said to each other openly. You understand? But that could turn very ugly. So, we definitely have to be careful in regards to that, because we see what young people are doing. And the first thing I thought about when I thought about that was the whole sticks and stones. That don't even apply, because words do hurt. You understand? And as a parent, exactly what it is you need to say to your child, to your children, just to give them that steel, to give them that armor to continue on with that every day, that takes a lot. That takes a whole lot. You understand? It may be my child that's called corny, maybe your child. So I never even thought about that aspect, what that looks like, and what you just got to keep telling them every day for them to be encouraged to feel like only sticks and stones will hurt. That take a whole lot. I
Mhm.
didn't even think about that. But as far as the relevancy, it depends on the person. I mean, I may use it from time to time, but it may be situational. Like one day I
Mhm.
was telling you, I was walking to work. One of the guys that live in the building, it's about 2 or 3 blocks from the train station. I saw the dude. We talking. Hey, what's going on? What's happening? Hey, Mark, how you doing? What's going on? Listen, you gonna watch that game? Or I don't watch sports. This dude gotta be corny in my
Mhm.
mind.
Mhm.
Yes.
Mhm.
But I didn't know what to say after that. I didn't know.
Mhm.
I was really dumbfounded. I don't know what
Mhm.
else to talk about. Share with the dude. I don't know. He
Yeah.
worked in IT. What I'm talking about? You know, computers? Or,
Yeah.
come on. He said, I don't watch sports.
Yeah.
Come on, man. I don't know
That,
what other ice.
yeah.
All right, you
That's
dead.
the
So it just
typical.
went quiet after that.
Yeah, that's the typical icebreaker amongst men. That's like the typical icebreaker. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
You
Yep.
know, it's different when you say I don't really watch it. Because you still got a point of
Yeah.
reference. That may mean you flick, catch
Yeah.
something. He
Right.
said, I don't like sports. Dude, what are you into? What are you doing?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
understand?
But why you just ask him that? Why you ain't say what are you into then?
Because he's corny. Now I want to know. You understand? Then
Oh my
people
god.
might see me walking down the street with this corny dude. And say, Mark, what's up? You was walking with that corny cat? Nah, kid. I'm with
Yo,
it. You
yo,
understand?
listen, I just realized I'm wearing this Broken Cycle apparel right now, and I need to say to you, C1, break the cycle, man. Break the cycle. Do better. Do better.
Nah, it was yeah, I don't know. That was just funny, man. But you know, people like who they like, people who they are. Everyone find their niche and exactly how they fit in. He was just one
Mhm.
of those cats. I mean, it was one other person in my life that was a male that wasn't into sports. It happens sometimes. Not everybody's into that, but that's the first thing that come to mind when I think of corniness. I mean,
Mhm.
outside of that, he was a cool dude, but that's just
Mhm.
something I thought about when I thought of corny. And then it was this other cat. Now, I thought this was just a corny act. This guy used to come in the cafeteria every day with broccoli, just a bowl of broccoli, and put it in the microwave. So that smell carried.
Yeah, the broccoli smell is not too
That
favorable.
smell carried throughout the offices, and everybody knew when he was coming, and everyone knew when he was using the microwave.
Yeah.
Now, he just may be someone that likes broccoli. You understand? Now, you know, to some that may be considered corny. Why are you heating up broccoli every day?
Mm.
What's the point of that? What life decisions are you making that require you to eat broccoli every day? What are you doing?
Ain't
To
it?
me, like something like that, that might be corny. The act.
Yeah.
Now, him himself, I don't know him, right? But the act of that, I consider something like,
So
come on, man,
wait,
that's
so
corny.
eating broccoli is corny. Is that what you're saying?
Every day and heating it up, heat it up at home.
So wait, ain't nobody call him broccoli man?
Nah,
Cause
no,
you know us black people, you know how we do. We give you a nickname. If we
Got
facts.
see
a
something
name for
constant,
everything.
we're like, yo, they go broccoli man.
They go back.
What's
No,
up, broccoli?
but people knew. They didn't say that to him. You
Yeah, yeah,
understand?
yeah,
But
yeah.
people's like, oh yeah, broccoli about to use the microwave. So we knew.
Or they call him broccoli. Just call him
Yeah, yeah,
broccoli.
yeah. Behind the scenes,
Yeah, yeah,
because he would bring it and he wash it
yeah.
and then he put it in the microwave.
Uh,
He like broccoli. So
like
if
broccoli.
I use that as situational, it will never
Mm-hmm.
be the person because I don't know them to call
Mm-hmm.
them corny. But it may be a situation to where, oh man, that's corny.
Mm. Dig it, dig it, dig it.
So it may still have some relevance, but to me, it depends on the situation where I would use that.
Yes, yes. Well, and there we have it, good people. For those listening and potentially watching, eventually we'll watch. The conclusion is corny is subjective. Uh
Facts.
and plain and simple. Corny is subjective, but I say, don't overjudge a person's perceived corniness and make it harmful to them, in which it obstructs their life. In closing, I'd say that. But
Well done.
yes. So that is the show. Good people. 92.6 the spot. Not right, not wrong. This is Just Ja hosting this episode on behalf of Cross Bronx Mark and the Empress.
You
With the
dig?
long locks coming out.
All right now. Okay.
We bid you adios.
Gas station.
Until next time. Peace and love, y'all. Peace and love.
Peace.
Hit the subscribe button. We need more people. Hit the subscribe button. Hit that
The
button.
button. Please. Pretty please.
Yes.